Hey everyone, I recently talked with Silvan from Swissburner about decision-making and decision-making frameworks. I thought that was a very interesting chat that later on led me to think a bit more structured about the way I approach decisions. Obviously, all of us make hundreds and thousands of decisions every day, from the simple things like what we're gonna wear, when we're gonna get up, what we're gonna eat, what we're drinking, what music we listen to, where we work from, what we decide to work on, how we prioritize, all the way up to very strategic things like who we date, who we marry, what investments we make, what company we start, and so on and so forth. There's different types of decisions, or at least the way I think about it is decisions that have a different weight based on the consequences that they cause. And over the years, I've developed a few rituals and systems and processes that help me focus my decision energy on the most important decisions, at least in my value system. Before I talk about what those are, I want to speak about what is decision energy. I believe that no matter how small or how inconsequential or how big and how many steps come afterwards, every decision takes some form of energy from us. Having to decide what to wear in the morning, that's already a few decisions made that I can now not spend on something that I consider more valuable. So for me, how do I approach this dilemma that we only have a very limited amount of decision energy per any given time interval, be it a day? Well, number one, I outsource or delegate as many decisions as possible, either to a process or someone else in my life. An example for this, what I'm wearing, I've once decided what is my outfit and now I'm wearing it every single day. Another example is what I'm eating. I eat a keto diet just once a day, so I only eat once. I only need to make the decision after my workday when I'm fully focused on now relaxing and calming down. Or yet another way of how I outsource decisions is by only drinking water. So for more than 6 or 7 years now, I've only had still water. I don't drink coffee, tea, fruit juices, or anything else. And that's a decision that I would otherwise make a few times a day. Number two, I ask myself, am I the person that needs to make that decision, or is someone else better suited to make that decision? For example, on my team, Claude, he looks at a lot of the deal flow that we have, and he looks at a lot of the legal stuff that we need to work with. And so often for those areas, I just like to ask him for a recommendation before even getting into the weeds of things. And if I sense that he has a high conviction that this is the way to go, I don't even question it. I focus on hiring great people that can take responsibility, and then I make sure they also have it and they own it by giving them a certain amount of freedom. And I just from time to time check in and challenge them. Number three, so if it's my decision and if it's not one that I have delegated, there's only two types of decisions for me that remain. One is like smaller decisions where I can be data-driven. What I mean by that is I can use my head to make the decision, and those are usually easy to make. I just write down my logic. Maybe it requires a table and I weight some of the options. Most of the time I just write about it, and then at the end of a few paragraphs, usually I know which way I'm gonna go. And now the hardest and fourth step of this process is my gut feeling. Decisions that I need to make with my gut, with my heart. Soft factors come into play. Those are usually hard, and often in my life that's the important decisions. It's who to spend time with, what companies to invest in, how to go forward with a certain company, how much to invest in, what the terms are, and so on and so forth. And for these, what usually helps me is just to create enough space for me to really think and feel about this. So I'm very bad at making these decisions if it's between two calls and I have exactly 15 minutes within which I need to come to a conclusion. So typically I try to think about these at least overnight. Sometimes I dream about these kind of decisions, and that usually is a good insight as well. One thing that I've definitely learned over the years is that all the important decisions in my life, I have to make them with my gut, and I make them with my gut independent from whether I want to make them with my head or not. Those are the decisions that really matter. And so over the past 10 years, I've learned to be a lot more in tune with what my body says, what my gut says, what my heart says. If you're also thinking about making decisions, it'd be super interesting to hear how you approach it. If you use any steps that I don't consider, if you have any other particular views or any other frameworks that you typically use that bring you value, please leave them in the comments or send me a direct message on Twitter. And with that, have a beautiful day, stay curious, and I'll talk to you soon. Hey, if you like this video and you would like to do me a huge favor, then please smash that like button and subscribe. That's great for the YouTube algorithm and more people will see it. It will also make sure you will get to see all the upcoming videos on essentialism and entrepreneurship. And if there's a question or topic you would like me to cover, please let me know in the comments.